fruit that you eat started out as a flower. Whether it's an apple, orange, pear, all of the fruit you eat was once a flower. Obviously, Monstera fruit is the same. It begins its life as a flower. You can see the different stages of development right here. First, the flower emerges from its protective sheath. It then opens up, and the flower inside turns into a green, scaly fruit. And just like any fruit, once they've matured, those pieces can be picked. The delicious sweet flesh can be eaten, and the seeds can be harvested for planting. Well, last July, we harvested about 1,000 seeds and planted them in various experiments. Of course, we did the traditional planting in seed trays and small pots, but I had a theory that perhaps we should place some together and allow them to compete with each other. You see, Brazilian-Form Monsteras are more delicate than the standard large-form Monstera. You can see it in the leaves and stems. They're a bit more fragile, thinner, and for lack of a better word, more dainty than their robust cousin. That is just to be expected with rare plants. Since this would be our first time ever selling seedlings, my thought was to basically have them compete with one another, just as they would in the wild. Then I would separate out the largest and strongest ones, pull them out, grow them in small pots, and then ship those off to you guys. Then I'd keep the smaller, weaker ones and grow those out into larger plants myself. Now, a competition scenario works well in all situations except one: variegated plants. You see, if a seedling is variegated, even just a little, it will not be able to compete with a non-variegated sister. Well, no problem there. Throughout the years, I have never, ever seen a variegated leaf on a Brazilian. Never! So I wasn't even considering it as a possibility. Well, as you will find in your plant journey, you never cease to learn new things. It turns out that Brazilians do in fact sport variegation. But obviously, those sports would not survive in the wild, which is why I've never seen one. In nature, this fruit would simply fall to the ground, the seeds would either plant themselves right there, or be eaten by birds, squirrels, and other small animals and dispersed in various places. Now, it is hard for any seedling that sprouts to compete with established plants, but a seedling with a variegation defect would in no way be able to compete. It would simply die off. You can see an example of that here. All of these seeds were planted at the same time. They all have 3 leaves now. However, the all-grain Brazilian is standing about 8 inches tall, and the seedling with the cream variegation on its leaves is about 2 inches tall. You see this over and over, whether the seedlings are growing in a group or even if they're in their own individual seed cells. The variegated Brazilians simply do not have the chlorophyll to eat and be strong like the all-grain plants. So in any case, I pulled out all of the plants with variegation and separated them into their own pots. Out of all of my seeds, I ended up with 14 variegated plants. Well, one of the all-white seedlings actually died, but the seed still has a little green on it, so I'm keeping that. And yes, I actually did drop it down that hole. But ultimately, out of all of the seeds we planted, we have 13 variegated plants and 1 seed. And just a side note, you may be wondering why we planted so many seeds to begin with. It's because we're going to eventually switch to offering only Brazilian Monsteras. It makes no sense to compete with hundreds of regular Monstera sellers when we have a mega rare Monstera that only a few people have. So we're going to grow all these seeds out, bring the prices down a bit, and make an educational video series about Brazilians. We'd like to be Etsy's go-to Brazilian sellers. The first group of seeds we planted have actually gotten quite large, and we've already transplanted them into 4-inch pots. In any case, we'll do more videos on Brazilian-Form Monsteras because unless you're a serious Monstera collector, chances are you've never even heard of them. So we'll make videos to cover their appearance, growth, fruiting, and of course we'll follow these variegated seedlings as they mature. Right now, I just wanted to give a brief introduction of our variegated Brazilians, and we'll do periodic updates every few weeks or so to show you how they're progressing. I'm going to put the largest one with the yellow variegation up for sale now, just to generate some buzz around them. But most of these won't be for sale just yet. So check in with us every now and then as we chronicle their growth. So it's been about a week and a half since these have been transplanted. Some of them were already in their own little individual seed trays, seed pods or whatever, but some of them were actually competing with all grain Monsteras, and they've been transplanted into their own little pots. And usually if there's a problem with a seedling, you will see it within the first couple of days. It really will not take long for you to see a problem with them after you transplant them. So this has actually been a week and a half. I would rather be filming this outside, but it is dark outside right now, and if I don't film this, I will never film it. So I wanted to film it after a week, but I just got busy with a bunch of stuff, so it has been a week and a half. So as far as how everything looks pretty good. The only issues that I can see are with the ones that are extremely white. Like for instance, this one is, practically all white. And remember, it had 2 leaves. Well, one of the leaves has died, as you can see, that one right there, but there is a baby leaf that's coming. So it could pull through. We'll see how well it does. We're going to go ahead and watch that one. And then also this one here. This is a white one as well, a very, very white looking one. As you can see, one of the leaves is, let me get that out of. Okay, can't get it to focus. Okay, one of the leaves is dying, but as you can see, it has a 3rd leaf that's coming. But I'm not sure about this plant. It does look like there is going to be some rot going on down there. It's flopping over. So this one, yeah, this one's probably not going to make it, but we'll go ahead and watch it. And then also remember the other white one that was dead from the last video that I did, its seed still had some green on it. So if this one does die, I'm still going to keep the seed there just to see if anything else sprouts out of it. And then lastly, this was the really pretty one with the veining. And the white on this one is starting to brown. The leaf that was like almost practically all white is starting to brown, but that is almost to be expected with white leaves. That's just a little bit of dirt, but that's almost to be expected with white leaves. The white leaves, or the white on a leaf, always tends to have those brown spots. But anyway, yeah, as far as transplanting, these seedlings did very, very well, better than I expected actually. So everything is looking really, really good. What else did I want to point out? I did notice, this is really cool. This one, remember this one that had the leaves that were all variegated? This was the first leaf that came out and it was green, but this leaf, this leaf, and this leaf. So all of these leaves have come out with variegation. So obviously I'm going to keep that one. But this one I hadn't noticed is the first leaf came out green, the second leaf came out green, but the third and the fourth leaf have come out with variegation. So yeah, keep that up. So that one came out with variegation and this one did as well. So hopefully, you know, we'll have a repeat and we'll have a couple of these that we can cut from in, you know, maybe a couple of years. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to give a quick little update of all of the variegated Brazilians. Most of these I'm going to keep and watch because I want to make sure that they're strong enough before I could offer them up for sale. I'm going to call these light ones phantoms, and I'm going to call this one, this is the one, the big strong one, I'm going to call him, since he has a yellowish variegation pattern like in Aria, Monstera Aria, I'm going to call him a Braria. So a Brazilian Aria. So anyways, he's looking very, very well. The first leaf came out with some specks, as you can see there. And then the second leaf obviously came out with that almost half moon variegation. So I am going to wait a couple of weeks just so I can watch him, and then I'm going to put him up for sale. So he will go ahead and go up for sale. I'm really confident that he's strong enough, but the rest of these I'm going to keep them, watch them, and then some of them I'm just going to keep so that I can, you know, cut from them and have some cuttings to sell in a couple of years. I mean, this will take a couple of years before I can take any cuttings from it. But yeah, I'm really excited. As you can tell, I did not expect any sports to come out of my Brazilians, so I'm so happy that so many did. All right, thanks for watching.